The Department of Justice is asking Missouri counties for access to voting machines, with one county clerk pushing back. I'm Blake Gully. Will have that story coming up.
Plus, Cherokee County deputies bust a smoke shop, seizing an extensive amount of marijuana. And a police officer killed in the line of duty is remembered at a memorial service in Kansas City.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Jasper and McDonald County clerks reject federal demands for access to their 2020 election equipment. This is KOAM News at 9. I'm Tanya Bach. A request from the Department of Justice is raising new questions about Missouri's voting machines. But local clerks say they will not hand them over and the law is on their side. KOAM's Blake Gully reports.
In a memo from the Missouri Association of County Clerks and Election Authorities, Missouri is now a part of a multi-state investigation by the Department of Justice to inspect and possibly take custody of voting equipment used in the 2020 general election. Both Jasper and McDonald County clerks say they were contacted by a man identifying himself as Andrew McCoy Warner from the DOJ, requesting access to their machines. McDonald County Clerk Jessica Cole released a statement saying in part, "In Missouri, our voting equipment is approved by the Secretary of State and must meet strict state and federal standards." She goes on to say, by law, custody, maintenance, preparation, testing, and storage of this equipment are the responsibility of the local election authority and my designated staff. Even though Jasper County has replaced its voting machines used in the 2020 election, the county clerk says handing them over would still be against Missouri law.
I don't have any problem with the Department of Justice from any administration wanting to make sure that our elections are accurate as well. It's just when they ask for the machines, if I did have them, which I don't, the statute prevented me from providing those machines to anybody unless I had a court order. If they went to court and gave me a court order, absolutely I would follow the court order. But following Missouri statutes, nobody is allowed to touch our machines, no matter what party affiliation they have.
From Jasper County, Missouri, I'm Blake Gully with KOAM News.
Officials add all testing before and after elections is open to the public to help ensure transparency. The Cherokee County Sheriff's Office invoked a search warrant at the Toki Tiki Smoke Shop in Baxter Springs today as part of an ongoing investigation with the county attorney's office. Deputies say they found large amounts of marijuana and THC products inside the business, and detectives are still collecting evidence.
We encourage citizens to let us know if they see sales of this nature going on at any of the other stores, because as said, we want to take this out of the hands, and it is still illegal, and we're going to enforce the laws here.
Authorities say currently there have been no arrests throughout the course of this investigation. This is a developing story, and we'll have more details as they are released. Well, meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney joins us now with a first look at weather.
We've been watching storms in the area. Now we are still under a severe thunderstorm watch in a few of our counties out in Missouri and a couple in Kansas along those borders. Now, really only seeing 2 clusters of thunderstorms. We got one to the north of us out near Nevada, so you can see some lightning already upticking there in Nevada, and some strong storms moving just north of Stockton and then moving out towards the Wichita area. So let's take a little closer look. All right, heading into Nevada, and Fort Scott's getting some light showers as well. North of Mound City, you can see a strong little storm there as well. So we're going to keep an eye on those clusters that could be moving into the Missouri side. And then we have our stronger threat just to our west, not really quite making it into any of our counties, but they are still getting some showers out in Howard, Sedan, might be moving into Independence and Coffeyville, but we're going to keep an eye on these storms, and I'll have a look coming up.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. The badge may be silent, but the memories live on. The Kansas City community says goodbye to Officer Hunter Simoncic in an emotional ceremony today. The Southeast Kansas native attended Pittsburgh State University and touched many hearts here in the 4 states before he started his career as a KCK police officer. And today, as Gianni Navarro reports, the emotions continued as people lined the streets in front of his patrol car and watched his procession go by.
Family, friends, and colleagues gathered with heavy hearts at Children's Mercy Park to honor the life of fallen officer Hunter Simoncic.
There will never be another Hunter.
A son, a brother, a friend, and as many described him, a hero and protector whose dream was to become a police officer.
This wasn't just a career for him. He genuinely wanted to make a change to the world.
He was also someone who left his mark far beyond the badge.
Hunter was a good person. His family are good people, and they did not deserve this.
Can you hear me from heaven?
Loved ones sharing how Hunter had the rare ability to make people feel seen and cared for.
He made this world brighter. He reminded us to all live a life more boldly, to love more freely, and to never stop being kind.
The service closed with music, prayer, and this special moment, proving the impact Officer Hunter Simoncic had on his community.
We thank you for your dedication, loyalty, compassion, and service to the citizens of Kansas City, Kansas, Wyandotte County.
And although his life was cut far too short, it is clear his memory will live on forever.
Rest easy, my dear friend, until we meet again.
In Kansas City, Kansas, Gianni Navarro, KCTV5 News.
Well, tomorrow there is a visitation for family and friends beginning at 1:30 at the St. Patrick Catholic Church in Parsons, Kansas. A rosary service with a mass of Christian burial will follow. Now, the route from the church to the Mount Olivet Catholic Cemetery will be blocked off from 2:30 to 4 p.m. That's Ness Road from Main Street to 21,000 Road. Coming up, a crackdown on crime.
President Trump says he's going into Chicago whether local leaders ask for it or not, and another city in the South could be next. I'm Connor Hansen in New York. I'll have the details coming up.
But up first, protecting your pets from harmful mushrooms.
A huge day of football kicks off next Sunday on Fox.
Many dog owners love to head outdoors for some fun with their pets, but ahead of the changing fall weather, veterinary experts reveal why people should be vigilant about wild mushrooms around their properties, as many are potentially poisonous to dogs. Fox News' Ted Linder reports.
With the weather getting cooler and more damp ahead of the official first day of fall, wildlife experts say conditions are getting prime for mushrooms to grow. But veterinarians are raising red flags, citing how certain types of wild mushrooms can be toxic to dogs, especially Amanita mushrooms, of which there are more than 600 species, with many being poisonous.
Here's a picture of an Amanita mushroom, and it looks to me like a little white toadstool mushroom. They come in various different sizes. They can be slightly different colors. This is an Amanita mushroom from California with a person with their hand to show the kind of size they are, but they get a little bit bigger, they get smaller.
Different types of Amanita mushrooms can grow across the country.
Deathcap mushrooms, Amanita phalloides, grow mostly on the west coast, some on the east coast.
And because it can be hard to tell the difference between poisonous and non-poisonous mushrooms, experts recommend erring on the side of caution.
To me, they're all suspect.
Heading into the fall and then throughout the season, veterinarians advise pet owners to check their yards for mushrooms before letting their dogs out and to be hyper-vigilant on their favorite walking paths. But if for some reason you see your pet eating a mushroom, it might not be a bad idea to take them to the vet in case it winds up being toxic.
Because there is no specific antidote for it, and the poison is absorbed into the body really fast. So what you can do, if this happens, is you take them to the vet to try to limit the absorption of the mushroom straight off as fast as you can.
Ted Linder, Fox News.
Well, Lindsay's next with a complete look at your forecast. And later, motorists who follow big rigs on the highway should be aware of the hazards that could happen.
We had a low-grade severe threat for storms earlier this evening. Now we can go ahead and take a look at our current SPC outlook. So it's actually shifted a little bit. We had a slight risk in some of our northern counties, but that risk has dropped down. So now for us, we're just in a marginal risk for storms. Again, still staying north of Joplin, but our central and northern counties. And then that slight risk has now just isolated over Wichita. So they're the only area that's going to get that real strong threat for storms. But we are still under a severe thunderstorm watch. You can see Kansas and Missouri counties just along the border and then out there near the Wichita area as well. So when we take a look at our cluster of thunderstorms on the Missouri side and our northern counties. Nevada is getting some heavy rain, light to moderate showers. Drywood, moving into Drywood, Metz, light showers. Butler, a little lightning up there as well, and all the way up to Lincoln. Now, none of these are under severe thunderstorm warnings, but we are going to keep an eye in case they spike up again. There are a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings, but those are out south of Wichita, but out of our area, so not a big threat. Sedan's getting some rain, Bartlesville, maybe even Nowata. But most of us are looking good right now, especially in the Joplin area. You can see downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. Mostly still dry out there, and we are seeing a few clouds move in, but not much going on. It looks like our camera and 7th and range line is down, but we can go ahead and look at our current wind gust tracker. All right, so here is our front. You can see all these winds, how they're shifting. We get those northerly winds behind the front, winds gusting up to 20-25 miles per hour. So we are seeing winds behind the front gusting a little bit stronger. We're going to see that tonight and into early morning on Thursday. Tonight, we are still seeing those scattered showers, scattered storms as they move in, and temperatures dropping down to the low 60s. But really, our severe threat has dropped off. We were now only seeing a hail threat. As the front passes, we get these elevated storms behind the front. That makes it a little bit more conducive for hail. Even though we wouldn't see as large hail, we still could see 1 inch hail to 1.5 inches of hail. But then you still have that little sliver of a significant risk for hail out just to our west. Now, taking a look further into this evening, in about 30 minutes to an hour, these isolated storms will continue to push out to the east, still getting a few scattered showers out in southeastern Kansas and even in Oklahoma. Mostly though, after about 10 p.m., we're looking at isolated showers, just these light mists as they pass through the area. Now we're starting Thursday morning. Here we are, 9 a.m. We get these northeasterly winds, still some clouds out there in our northeastern counties. A lot of us are starting to see some sunshine though, so looking pretty good. Planning your day tomorrow, again, we could still start the morning off with a couple of isolated showers and or thunderstorms. And then temperatures will be in the upper 70s, near 80. So overall, it is going to be a pretty nice day on Thursday. Aside from those early morning showers and storms, most of the day on Thursday is going to be mostly sunny. Temperatures, again, only reaching about 80 degrees, so pretty nice. Now, Friday, we do get those showers returning to the area. Temperatures are going to be cooler because of the rain and the overcast all day. But this weekend is looking fantastic. 70s. It's going to be mostly sunny. Really just look really amazing.
Nice weekend.
Yep.
Nice weekend to get outdoors and do something.
I'm going to have to mow my lawn this weekend, so that's what I'll be doing.
Thank you for reminding me. All right, thanks, Lindsay. Well, CMVs, or commercial motor vehicles, play a vital role in the 4 states. But according to MoDOT, there's been an increase in the number and rate of fatal accidents involving big rigs. KOAM's Lonnie Walton speaks with a local expert for advice on how to protect yourself.
Want to get in front of you, but they don't realize that you can't slam those, you can't stop on a dime.
Gloria Flick and her husband have been CMV drivers for years. They say some people just don't realize how dangerous these massive vehicles can be. Jerry Reynolds is a former truck driver and owns Reynolds Warehouse Incorporated in Joplin. He says there are some problems.
Some drivers who will come up on some traffic and they want to get over, and a lot of times they don't care if you're beside them or not.
According to Corporal Sam Carpenter, these type of situations should not happen for your own good.
We don't want you following a 18-wheeler close. Don't drive right next to them for long distances.
Generally for me, when I'm in a car and I am driving by a truck, I will get by them as quickly as possible. Just stay away from them is the best thing you can do.
And do you know what these truckers' biggest pet peeve is?
People who drive in the left lane.
In the state of Missouri, it is against the law to just drive in the left lane of a 4-lane divided highway. That lane is reserved for passing only. When you're just cruising, you should always be in the right-hand lane.
And those blind spots.
The right side of the truck towards the back is a blind spot, and the left side of the truck towards the cab is a blind spot.
Sometimes the truck driver, if you don't see them get back there, you don't even know they're back there.
And experts say if you don't like driving around the trucks, just do what you can to stay away. Reporting in Joplin, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Corporal Carpenter says it's a driver's choice to pass a big rig, but if you have to exceed the speed limit, you are breaking the law. Up next, September is Realtor Safety Month. See how one 4-state company is teaching realtors to protect themselves from danger. According to the National Association of Realtors, on average, more than 55,000 realtors are victims of crime each year. September is Realtor Safety Month. One Neosho-based company is hoping to help give realtors the tools to protect themselves. KOAM's Samantha Walker joined in on the safety seminar to learn more.
According to the National Association of Realtors, more than 300,000 realtors fear for their safety on the job each year. It's something veteran realtors like Vicki Bronson know all too well.
It's very personal and very real to me. After the tornado in Joplin, somebody bothered me so much under the guise of purchasing real estate. I moved 4 times in a year. As agents, we don't know what we're exposed to until there's a problem.
Last year, 400,000 real estate agents in the U.S. reported not having any safety protocols in place to protect themselves. Black Rain Ordnance, a firearms company based in Neosho, hopes to change that.
If you look at the national statistics on things like that, it's always a consideration. And with us being a firearms manufacturer as well as a training organization, we wanted to be able to impart some of our knowledge that we've gained over the years from our experience and give that back to our community.
The company is offering a series of free seminars focused on realtor safety.
Consideration towards their specific roles when they're doing like open houses or showing and things like that, and just general things to be aware of for situational awareness, risk aversion, things like that.
The training is helpful for realtors of all experience levels, but especially those new to the profession.
I signed up for the course just because I am new and we're out in the field alone most times, so just to feel a little bit more confident about being by myself.
Trainers say realtors can be targeted because they're more likely to meet strangers alone in unfamiliar places, so they hope to help the community be prepared for the worst.
It's just something that people want to pay attention to, and the probability that it could happen isn't so high, but we always want to be prepared, and then we don't want to have to answer the question afterwards, could I have done something more?
And for realtors like Bronson, trainings like this can make everyone a little bit safer.
Most people think that the rest of the world is pretty nice, and it is, until something goes wrong. And being prepared is better than being hurt and trying to get over it. The more of us that know how to protect ourselves, the less likely we are for things to happen to any of us.
Reporting in Neosho, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
There are still openings for the 2 sessions of the Realtor Safety Seminar on September 15th. You can learn more about how to sign up on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Coming up next, Pittsburgh residents map out plans to improve transportation and build stronger community ties. The Pittsburgh Neighborhood Advisory Council held its monthly meeting today at Memorial Hall. Community members discussed transportation concerns and discussed new initiatives designed to help bring that community together. And that includes collaborations with local churches and Pitt State University. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. The president's big, beautiful bill delivers $66 billion for 4 state farmers. We have the details. And President Trump has his eyes on cracking down on crime in Chicago and a list of other U.S. cities.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. President Trump's tax and spending bill could help Arkansas and Missouri farmers. According to the Farm Bureau, the bill added $66 billion to farm programs like crop insurance and disaster assistance. Chris Bryant reports.
In the one big beautiful bill, 80% of the farm bill is in this bill. For the first time in 7 years, we increased all the reference prices at almost 20%.
The Agriculture Improvement Act was the last time a farm bill got passed in Washington, D.C. That 2018 legislation was extended in 2023 to cover crops the following year. Without a farm bill moving forward before Congress this year, the one big beautiful bill addressed a number of points for farmers.
In Southwest Missouri, we have 2 of the top cattle producing counties in the country. Agriculture is extremely important, and so we're prioritizing that.
Farmers will also see an increase in reference prices for crops like oats, corn, wheat, and soybeans from the bill, increasing the revenue guarantee from 86% to 90% starting with crops from this year.
For our row crop producers, we received significant updates to farm programs that ultimately provide a safety net for producers of row crops.
The bill also makes it where starting in 2026, the United States Department of Agriculture must spend $233 million per year on animal disease prevention and response. For Congressman Eric Burleson, one of the items in the bill he's happy to see addressed is the taxation when it comes to transferring the family farms.
You know, when you have to transfer a family farm from grandparent to parents, or you know, when you try to pass them along to your family, sometimes they end up having to pay estate taxes and having to sell a portion of the family farm in order to make it work. And that's just not acceptable. So I was glad to see that we were able to make accommodations for that so that that doesn't have to happen to the vast majority of the farms in Missouri.
In addition, the bill will provide nearly $3 billion in disaster assistance programs.
It by no means makes a farmer or rancher whole. Let's be clear about that. But what it does do is provide important stopgap assistance to help us get to the next year. Think of it as a bridge, if you will.
As President Trump signals he will continue to use federal law enforcement to fight crime, he's finding some support on Capitol Hill. But Democrats are still lining up against the use of troops in American cities. Connor Hansen has the latest.
I want to go into Chicago, and I have this incompetent governor that doesn't want us.
President Trump says he's moving federal law enforcement into Chicago, whether local leaders ask for it or not. Dozens were shot and 8 people were killed throughout the Windy City over Labor Day weekend.
The cavalry's coming. The people of this country deserve help.
But some Chicago residents have mixed opinions on bringing in federal troops like they've seen happen in Washington, D.C.
There is no issue. You know, there's not a meaningful crime problem that's been spiking or anything. We're fine. Like, the CPD's been doing pretty good.
I think that it'll do justice, you know, for the city. I think putting some structure in place will definitely, you know, help prevent those things.
Illinois Senators Tammy Duckworth and Dick Durbin wrote a letter to the Secretary of the Navy asking about a plan to house ICE agents in Naval Station Great Lakes. They called it a part of the administration's, quote, inhumane immigration rampage.
If this president wants to help us reduce crime, we'll work with him. But this notion that he is going to invade Chicago, put military checkpoints in that city, for God's sake, that's just an outrage.
Trump says he's considering expanding to other states and has his eye on Louisiana next.
You have New Orleans, which has a crime problem. We'll straighten that out in about 2 weeks.
President Trump has still not said when he might move federal law enforcement into Chicago, but it's expected to happen in a matter of days. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
Well, Lindsay's next with a complete look at your forecast. And later, see what the new Pittsburgh State University president says about improving faculty-student relations.
We did have a low-grade severe threat for storms this evening, but most of that is starting to die down. And we can go ahead and take a look at our current SPC outlook. So you can see where our slight risk has shifted, no longer in our area, but out towards the west. Now, the rest of us, our central and northern counties, are in that marginal risk. As you can see, Joplin is not expected to get any of these stronger storms, might get some showers overnight, but most of the stronger storms are clusters up to the north in our Missouri counties. You can see Lamar, Nevada, up to Butler. And then we also have some strong storms that are now moving down south into Oklahoma. Now taking a look at this cluster of storms. All right, just moving out of Butler, a little lightning up there, as well as Shell City and El Dorado Springs, but none of these are showing any hail signatures. So you might just get some strong winds, 40, 45 miles per hour. But the rest of us right now are dry. We can see downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. We are seeing some clouds moving in, but so far, not much has happened in the way of severe weather for us tonight, which is a good thing. And we could definitely use some rain in the 4 states, so we're hoping to get a few more scattered showers overnight tonight. Temperatures are going to drop down into the low 60s. Now, some of these showers have the potential to linger into Thursday morning, but you can see our threat for any severe weather is really just fallen off the map. Do still see that slight isolated risk for wind out towards our west again, and hail risk. These storms are now elevated, so they're behind the front, meaning we could still get some small hail. That's hence our isolated risk for central and northern counties out there. But again, most of these are going to be continuing to die down. So let's take a look at our future track. In the next 30 minutes, we still have that cluster of storms that's going to continue to push off out towards our east. And then moving out here, we have those clusters of storms that are moving into Oklahoma. So we want to keep an eye on those as they push further into our area, bringing us some showers, but unlikely to bring any more severe weather. Now by midnight, most of us might get some light mist, but overall our strong storms are out of here. And then we're heading through the morning. We're just going to get some light showers, maybe just a drizzle overnight. By Thursday morning, mostly just looking at some clouds and maybe even a little bit of fog, especially in our northeastern counties, because that's where we've seen some rain tonight. Now, continuing into Thursday, temperatures are going to be in the upper 70s, low 80s thanks to this cold front. So we're cooling down again on Thursday. Again, we could see those isolated showers lingering into the early morning hours before you head out the door, but it might still get you in the morning. But for most of us, we're going to be dry by Thursday afternoon. We only got a 10% chance there, but the most of the day is going to be pretty sunny. And again, only getting up to about 80 degrees. Now, Friday, we do have more rain coming and overcast skies for most of the day. And a secondary front, that's going to drop our temperatures even more into the mid to lower 70s over the weekend on Saturday. We do warm right back up into the low 80s by the start of next week. We do have a couple of nights as well. We could get some showers, but most of us are going to be dry for the next couple of days. We've got a high pressure system settling over us next week, so we're back to warmer temperatures, not exceedingly high temperatures, so not mid 90s, but we are going to get into the upper 90s and even hitting about 90.
Still reason 80s to keep that air conditioner running.
Yes, it is.
That's for sure. All right, thanks, Lindsay. Well, still ahead, the Cardinals and Royals are back in action tonight, looking to close the gap in their wild card races. We'll have an update on their matchups. And the Colgan Panthers return a large senior core this year with hopes of making a run at a state title. We'll have the details coming up.
The Colgan Panthers have won at least 9 games in each of the last 3 seasons. And unlike a year ago, the Panthers will enter the 2025 season with a lot of familiar faces leading the way. Last year, Colgan relied on their junior class, who stepped up and led the Panthers to a playoff sectionals appearance. And now, with a year under their belts, this Colgan team is picking up where they left off in 2024 with 9 returners on their starting lineup.
A lot of them were thrown into the fire last year as juniors and really did an outstanding job and got a lot better. And you can tell this year just the retention's really high, the rate at which they remember the plays and formations and blitzes and everything. So we feel like we're in a good spot and guys have picked things up quick.
We've all been together basically like our whole lives. I mean, we've played like 6th grade through now, so it's about like 7-8 years together, and I mean, I think we just build a lot of friendships and like we all trust each other that we're gonna have each other's backs, and that really helps us in the games. Definitely great to have that experience. I mean, last year we went into playoffs not knowing like what we could do, how we could perform, but I mean, definitely this year we like know we can perform to that level of playoffs, and I think we can definitely put a good run on it.
As the Panthers prepare for kickoff, one key emphasis this offseason has been physicality. And with several returners up front on the offensive and defensive lines, Colgan expects the men in the trenches to be a strength this season.
Biggest thing, physicality, especially run defense. Play deep in 1A. You're going to see a lot of teams that are going to run the ball first. And so we've got to be able to stop the run. I think that starts with physicality all the way around. Football's a game of blocking and tackling when it really comes down to it, and it requires a certain level of physicality. And so we've really been focusing on the physicality of blocking and tackling. We return 4 starters on the offensive line and 3 on the defensive line. And so we return the bulk of the guys up there up front. A lot of them have played a lot of minutes. They understand the schemes. They can make calls and make adjustments on the field.
The Panthers kick off their season this Friday at home against Girard. Kickoff is set for 7 p.m. from Hutchinson Field. The high school soccer season is underway in the 4 states as teams open up their competition this week. One of those squads, Carl Junction, taking the pitch for the 2nd straight day. The Bulldogs taking on Springfield Central after beating Webb City on Tuesday. First half, Bulldogs with the corner kick. Cale Trosper sends one into the box. Cruz Boren gets a foot on it and finds Nylon to give Carl Junction a 1-0 lead. Central looking to respond, finding an opportunity in the middle of the field, and this open shot is corralled by Blake Miller in goal to keep the lead. Still in the first half, Bulldogs on the attack once again. Josh Hetton with the crosser, and Central's able to clear it, but not for long, as Nolan Kalk creates separation and tickles the twine to double the lead as Carl Junction wins the battle of the Bulldogs 3-0 to improve to 2-0 on the young season. We are in the home stretch of the MLB regular season, with the Royals and Cardinals still on the outside looking in for the postseason. Both teams in action at home tonight, needing to stack some wins. After dropping their series opener last night to the Angels, the Royals look to even their series. However, Kansas City drops their third straight game, 4-3 as Los Angeles takes the series. Royals finished the night with only 4 hits and went 1 for 7 as a team with runners in scoring position. KC looks to avoid the sweep in the finale against the Angels tomorrow. Cardinals are wrapping up their 3-game set with the Athletics in a rubber match tonight, and the St. Louis, they'll take that series against the A's with a 5-1 win tonight. Wilson Contreras leading the way for the Cardinals with 3 hits and 4 RBIs. Nolan Gorman added 3 hits himself, including a solo home run. Matthew Liberatore was dominant on the mound, throwing 5 in the third scoreless innings with 7 strikeouts in the win. Baseball wrapping up. Yeah. Football is now coming on. NFL's back. The Chiefs play Friday. It's kind of like that happy medium for me. Some of the best months of sports right now.
Yeah, a lot of fun out there. All right, we're back with more news after this. Pittsburgh State University's newest president says he's excited to be in the position. Dr. Thomas Newsom says he has goals for staff and students alike. KOAM's Ty Parks is on campus with the story.
Pittsburgh State University has a new president, Dr. Thomas Newsom. He comes from the small town of Durant and worked through Texas and New Mexico, and now is in southeast Kansas.
This is a university that has some significant momentum. The last 3 years, this university has grown not only academically, but in terms of enrollment, in terms of the programs, in terms of its contribution to workforce development in this part of the state, in this part of the region.
He wants to focus on telling the story of the great things happening at PSU.
We have a freshman class this year that is growing. Our freshman class is up about 10% over last fall, which is very exciting. That's something that a lot of regional universities across our country can't attest to in terms of growth.
Budgets are tight everywhere, but he is focused on giving the teachers and staff the resources they need to be successful.
Really, my role here is to support all of our academic programs, all of our athletic programs, all of our programs inside and outside the classroom, so that those folks that are leading those initiatives, that are guiding those students in the classroom or outside the classroom.
Students on campus have their own goals for the new president.
Parking is always an uprising issue. It's been around for years, so really maybe just some new fun and funky ideas for that, because I feel like we cycle through the same ideas year after year sometimes. And then also accessibility for all students, and I'm thinking more of like in the disability aspect, like ramps, automatic doors, elevators that are always working and ones that aren't breaking down, especially in the dorms.
Other than equipment and maintenance, one of the overall things students want from a new president is more involvement.
And the president of the university can be there to, ensure that the students not only feel welcome here, but want to stay here and want to want to stay not only at this university but in Pittsburgh and feel happy and welcome here.
I think the message that I would like to give to our students is that our goal here at Pittsburgh State is to make them successful. And we buy scoreboards and we send students off to competition.
A message the new president wants both staff and students to hear. In Pittsburgh, Ty Parks, KOAM News.
And students say overall they are excited about what the new president will bring to the campus. Up next in Hollywood Nation, the Guinness Family Battles, a popular video game, makes it to the big screen, and Netflix releases a historical drama. Jane Krakowski heads back to the stage, and a popular video game is converted into a movie. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin has the latest in today's Hollywood Nation.
The man's name is Guinness.
The Guinness Family Battles, Call of Duty expands, and Krakowski is on the stage in the Hollywood Nation. Jane Krakowski is returning to Broadway. The Tony Award winner will take over the lead role in Oh, Mary. She'll play Mary Todd Lincoln for an 8-week run from October 14th to December 7th. Krakowski, who won a Tony for 9, last appeared on Broadway in the 2016 revival of She Loves Me, which earned her a Tony nomination.
They want you afraid.
The popular video game Call of Duty is heading to the big screen. Activision and Paramount inked a deal for the studio to develop, produce, and distribute a live-action film based on the blockbuster. While no release date or director has been announced, the feature promises to deliver everything fans love about the iconic series, while expanding the brand for new audiences. The game tackles storylines from World War II and Vietnam to present day and beyond. Zara Larsson has set her plans for 2026. The pop singer will launch the North American leg of her Midnight Sun tour February 28th. The 30-date trek supports her new album of the same name, out September 26th. She's currently performing as a special guest on Tate McRae's tour and will kick off her European headlining run October 28th.
Flag of Guinness.
Trouble brews for the Guinness dynasty in today's first looks. Netflix released the trailer for the historical drama The House of Guinness. Set in 19th century Dublin and New York, the series follows the 4 children of Sir Benjamin Guinness as they fight for control of the family's legendary brewing empire after his death. The show premieres September 25th. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
And that's our time for tonight. Thank you for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of a mama skunk herding her babies across the road in Baker County, Oregon. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.